Would you care if your home backed up to a major freeway? What about a garbage dump? Well, here in Phoenix, some of the home builders are betting that you won't. So today I'm going to show you what the builders don't want you to see. We're going to take a look at 4 communities you should never buy a home in. I'll show you what makes these such terrible places to live and explain the worst thing that will happen to the people who do eventually buy these houses. Now, it may seem hard to believe that people are going to live in these areas once you see them, but the builders are taking advantage of an old sales tactic to move these homes. Let me show you what I mean. This is one of my favorite hats, and a few weeks ago, I got an email from the company that made it saying they were about to discontinue this style and that if I wanted to get another one, I should act fast. I hadn't even thought about getting a second hat, but when I heard that I couldn't get a replacement after this one eventually wears out, I suddenly felt like I had to act and ended up with this. And the builders are using the exact same strategy. Right now, there isn't much land left in the popular suburbs of Mesa, Gilbert, and Chandler. And just like I didn't want to miss out on my favorite hat, many buyers are rushing to grab these homes before they're all gone without stopping to think about what they're actually signing up for. Scarcity is a powerful motivator, and we've all made questionable decisions, like buying a second hat on an impulse, because of a fear of missing out. But is getting in on one of the last chances to own a brand new home in these areas worth putting up with what I'm about to show you? Let's take a look and you can be the judge. Our first stop is in Northeast Mesa, and I really hate having to put this community on the list because I love this builder. They have extremely high quality homes and are easy to work with. And that's why I was surprised when they broke ground on this community and I saw their name on the sign. This is the Grove at Lehigh, and people who are buying homes here are excited because all of the best parts of Mesa, Tempe, Scottsdale, and Phoenix are really close. But the reason you can get to those places so quickly is because you're right next to this. That is the Loop 202, which is one of the busiest and noisiest freeways in the Phoenix Metro. And if you buy a home in this community, you're gonna hear that all the time. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's another major source of noise close by. In fact, here comes one now. This community lies directly under the flight path for planes coming into Sky Harbor International Airport. So there will be plenty of noise from large jets coming and going too. Now, at a location like this, you'd expect the builder to cut you a break on the price of the home, right? Well, the smallest and least expensive home has a starting price of almost $700,000. And many of the homes in here are selling for over $1 million. This builder does offer another community nearby that's more affordable, but I wouldn't buy a home here either. This is Village at Pioneer Crossing, and it has all the same problems. Freeway, airplanes. The price here is better, but most of them are still going to fetch well over $500,000, and I just think that is crazy for a location like this. Now, freeway and air traffic noise are terrible, but what we're gonna find at this next place might be even worse. If we head a bit south, we come to the community of Haas Crossing, which looks totally fine on a map. You're right on the border of Mesa and Gilbert, and the 202 is nearby, but not right up against the community. But the in-person view isn't nearly as glamorous. This was a dairy farm just a couple of years ago, and the only buildings close by are some ugly looking warehouses. And if industrial space isn't your idea of a good neighbor, then this definitely isn't the place for you, because there's plans for even more to be built across the street. You're still gonna have noise from airplanes here too, because the Mesa Gateway Airport is really close. But there's something far worse than planes or warehouses lurking in the back of the community. So what's worse than those warehouses? That would be those buildings over there. They're kind of an eyesore, but it's the smell coming from inside that's the worst part. Yes, that's a whole lot of garbage. And unless you're this guy, oh, I love trash, then this is about the last thing you want next to your home. This is the Santan Waste Transfer Station, where many of the garbage trucks around Gilbert and East Mesa dump the trash they've collected. This facility is busy, smelly, and definitely not your ideal neighbor. So how much of a price break do you get for being next to a garbage facility? Not much. Just about every home sold in here is gonna be over $500,000, and the higher end ones are gonna be closer to $800,000. When it comes to bad neighbors, this next place has several, but this one's especially tricky because these ones aren't easy to spot. Moving southeast from Haas Crossing brings us to Avalon Crossing. So what's wrong with this place? where to begin. Once again, we have a freeway running right next to the community. This is State Route 24, and Arizona has plans to expand this busy road in the years ahead. On the other side is Williams Field Road, which is currently being widened from 2 lanes to 4. And you still get noise from Mesa Gateway Airport directly to our west. But at Avalon Crossing, there's something else that's gonna cause problems. And the worst part is that any potential buyer who visits this place won't even know about it, because they're not here when it happens. I only know about this because I live in the community directly behind us, and people complain about it all the time, and it's gonna be way worse over here. So what's the issue? Well, it basically comes down to this. Just over there to our west is the Arizona Athletic Grounds, which is one of the largest sports complexes in North America. It has acres of sports fields, pickleball courts, and even large event centers. But it also has hundreds of lights, and many of them stay on even after the facility closes at 11 p.m. That's pretty bad by itself, but there's something else brewing, and this is a big reason why Williams Field Road is expanding. Right now, to the east of Avalon Crossing is just an empty piece of land, but that's about to change. The city of Mesa recently signed off on the plans for the Gateway Auto Mall to be built. So no matter which side of the community you live on, you're going to feel like the couple who lived next door to Clark Griswold during the holidays. Another thing that bothers me about this place, check out how tiny some of these lots are. And once again, the pricing is really high, with most homes likely to sell between $500,000 and $800,000. But even with all these warts and everything that's wrong with these communities, people are still buying homes here. And the reason they're doing it is a really easy trap to fall into. And let me explain how this works. If you were shopping for a new car and the salesman said, "I can get you this brand new sports car for the same price as that used sedan you were looking at," that would seem pretty tempting, right? But what if you had just read a news report about how that sports car had a massive recall because the engine kept catching on fire? And the used sedan you were looking at is famous for its reliability and quality. Even with that knowledge, some people will still be tempted by the sports car because buying something new is really appealing. And purchasing a new home is a lot like getting a new car. You're the first person who owns it, and you won't have to worry about any maintenance issues. But the problem is, just like the car, that house only has the appeal of being brand new to whoever buys it first. When you go to sell the car later, someone isn't going to see this. They'll be looking at this. It gets really good gas mileage. And that's going to wreck your resale value. And this is the same problem with these houses, because the benefits of it being brand new will be long gone, and potential buyers will just see it as something that's next to a freeway or a waste transfer station, and that's really going to hurt the long-term value of these homes and make them really hard to sell. But something to keep in mind is that there are a lot of homes around Arizona that you flat out shouldn't buy, and these are especially sneaky because there won't be anything like a garbage dump or a freeway that will tip you off. So you should watch this video next, where I'll show you exactly what to look for and how to avoid a big mistake.